Welcome to Middle East Info, the place where we dissect and discuss the intricacies of Middle Eastern dynamics. Today, we'll delve into a fundamental topic that shapes regional affairs: the complicated politics of Iran and Saudi Arabia. When we talk about the Middle East, two countries that often dominate the conversation are Iran and Saudi Arabia. These nations are not only the largest in the region, but they are also key players on the global stage, and their rivalry profoundly influences the socio-political landscape of the Middle East. At the heart of this rivalry is a division rooted in religious and ideological differences. Iran, a majority Shia Muslim country, and Saudi Arabia, predominantly Sunni, have for decades used these differences to rally support and project influence across the region. However, it's essential to recognize that the Iran-Saudi rivalry is not just a sectarian conflict, it's a geopolitical power struggle. Ever since the Iranian Revolution of 1979, which saw the overthrow of the Shah and the establishment of a theocratic Islamic republic, Iran and Saudi Arabia's relationship has been fraught with tension. The revolution drastically changed Iran's internal politics and its approach to international relations, igniting concerns in Saudi Arabia about a potential shift in the regional power balance. The 1980s saw the rivalry intensify further, with the Iran-Iraq War often seen as a proxy battle between Iran and Saudi Arabia. While this was a conflict primarily between Iran and Iraq, Saudi Arabia supported Iraq with resources and funding, viewing the preservation of the Iraqi regime as a buffer against Iranian influence. This rivalry extends beyond direct confrontations. Iran and Saudi Arabia often compete for influence in other countries experiencing political instability, such as Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon. The ongoing war in Yemen, for example, is often seen as a proxy conflict between Iran and Saudi Arabia, with Iran backing the Houthi rebels and Saudi Arabia supporting the Yemeni government. The strategies that both countries employ are not limited to military engagement. Diplomatic maneuvering, economic measures, and soft power, the influence gained through cultural and ideological appeal, are all parts of the toolbox. This multifaceted competition between the two nations contributes to the complex political puzzle of the Middle East. Furthermore, the discovery and exportation of oil in the 20th century have added another layer to this geopolitical rivalry. Saudi Arabia and Iran both hold significant reserves of this valuable resource, and their control over oil production and prices has implications for the global economy, making their rivalry a matter of international concern. Now, with this understanding of the rivalry's roots and its manifestations, let's turn to the potential ways this tension can be addressed. The complex nature of the Iran-Saudi relationship implies that any solution would need to be multifaceted and gradual, involving not just these two nations but also other regional and global powers. Firstly, there needs to be open dialogue and diplomacy between Iran and Saudi Arabia, which could be facilitated by neutral parties or international organizations. This could allow the nations to express their concerns and understand each other's perspectives, potentially paving the way for conflict resolution. Moreover, establishing channels of cultural exchange and mutual understanding could help de-escalate tensions. Such soft diplomacy might include academic, artistic, and sports exchanges, promoting a shared sense of humanity and understanding that transcends political differences. Reducing reliance on oil is another potential strategy. The diversification of their economies could decrease the intensity of competition over oil resources and global market share. This shift towards more sustainable energy sources could also contribute to tackling climate change, an issue of mutual concern. In addition, there is a role for the international community. Global powers, particularly the US, Russia, China, and European countries, can contribute to stabilizing the region by maintaining balanced relationships with both Iran and Saudi Arabia. They should strive to reduce arms sales that can fuel conflicts and encourage peaceful resolution of disputes. Lastly, a long-term solution could involve building regional structures for cooperation and dispute resolution. Creating a framework similar to the European Union could foster economic and political cooperation, enabling a collective approach to security threats and promoting regional stability. In conclusion, the geopolitical politics of Iran and Saudi Arabia is a complex interplay of religion, power, and resources, affecting not only their bilateral relationship but also the wider Middle East and beyond. Addressing this rivalry calls for a nuanced understanding of its roots, and a multifaceted approach that embraces diplomacy, economic diversification, and regional cooperation. Despite the challenges, there is potential for a more stable future, one in which the Middle East isn't defined by conflict, but by the richness and diversity of its cultures, histories, and people. Thank you for watching Middle East Info. We hope you found this insight into the geopolitics of Iran and Saudi Arabia informative and thought-provoking. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss our future discussions on Middle Eastern dynamics.